All right, we are live. Welcome everyone. Hello and welcome. Actually, go to that screen. Actually, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Adobe CC Design. We're going to be talking about how you can take advantage of stock content. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks. I'm going to show you what you have available to you, some of which is free, some of which you license. It just really depends on which content we're talking about. So glad to have so many of you here. Welcome. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Let me go ahead and get another stream going here. Of course, as soon as I get ready to do that, my device went to sleep. So let's get the recording going too, and then we can dive right in. Hello, Lee. You spend entirely too much time together? No, we don't. This is actually a good thing. All right, I'm gonna switch over to my computer. And there we go. And welcome to CC Design. Let's get that recording going. All right, so taking advantage of stock content. What does that mean? So as you know, in this world we live in today, there's more and more demand for you guys to create content as quickly as possible. And as a photographer, I would love for you to hire photographers every time you need a new image to be shot or a new project to be worked on. But we know in reality, that's just simply not how the world works anymore, because there's just no more time, or there's no budget, or there's no time or budget to do everything that we love to do and have it all be custom. So that's where stock content comes in. And of course, with the ability of having stock content built right into your applications, it makes it that much easier for you to get access to the content you're looking for. And of course, if you are a contributor, that means that you can potentially have another source of revenue by contributing to Adobe stock, so that your photography that maybe people don't have a chance to hire you for directly can still be purchased and licensed, and you can still get royalties from it. All right, we're not going to talk about the contributor part at this point. We're going to talk about the stock or consumption part of it at this point. Maud's asking a question about Swift files. Swift files are basically Flash files on the web. Is that dead? Yeah. It's mostly dead from the standpoint of Flash is being less and less adopted from a web animation standpoint, and browsers aren't building it in anymore, and the Flash player is just one of those things that's just going away. So I would not spend a lot of time on using or creating Swift files for the web. Now, CC Animate can create HTML animations for the web, and that's where you should really be devoting your time. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and jump right into the content, and we're going to go ahead and get a quick look at what stock means. Now, I'm in Adobe Indesign. I've also got Photoshop open. I've also got Illustrator open. I've got all these different products open, but I'm going to start in InDesign because I want to go ahead and get the layout started that I want to put the stock content into it. And as a matter of fact, the layout is actually part of stock. Of course, you can go in and create a new document at any time, as you always have from InDesign 1.0, and you can make it any size you want. You can make a blank page, multiple pages, thousands of pages, and build the document any way you want. But if you are the person that says, well, that sounds great, but I'm not really a designer, or I don't have time to design something new, or maybe I want to use a starting point and then customize it, then that's what stock can do for you. So for example, if you go to recents, it shows my recently used documents, and a lot of them are blank documents from scratch. But you see, some of these are actual designs. These are stock templates. So for example, there's a category for print, web, and mobile. And think of web as published online, not necessarily web pages, but documents online. And think of mobile as ebooks. So you can grab templates from any one of these three categories. So if I were looking to create a print design, I needed to create a resume, a coloring book, a magazine, a media kit. There are templates that are built in or built into this interface for you to be able to download. And as you can see, the price tag on at least 99%, if not 100 of these, are free. You can just grab a template and start using it. Even the fonts that are included in those templates are part of Typekit, so that you can sync them as part of your Creative Cloud membership. So in other words, if you got access to InDesign, that means you've got access to Typekit. That means you've got access to the fonts that are being used here. All right. Someone's asking, when will my After Effects lesson be? I've created a few After Effects videos, but After Effects is more of a hobby for me, not something I teach or show on a regular basis. If you're looking to learn After Effects, instead of waiting for me to do another video, you're better suited going to looking at Jason Levine's videos, because Jason is our After Effects guru. He does it all the time. So go check out Jason Levine. His YouTube channel has After Effects content on it. All right, so with that said, I'm going to pop over to mobile. And I've already got a template here for Contemporary Digital Magazine, and it is free. I already checked it out. I like the way it looks. And if you wanted to even see what it looks like, you can see a preview of it. And it's really kind of cool the way this layout looks. Now, there are some things I don't like about it, some things I will change about it. But from a starting point, that's what this template gives me. I can see the size of it, how big it's going to be to download. I can see what screen size is optimized for, how many pages, so forth and so on. So I can see all of that stuff in the template. I'm going to go ahead and just open it. I've already downloaded it, and there it is. So now, a template is just that. It's a template. It's giving you a starting point. It came from Adobe stock. If I didn't find one that I wanted, let's go back and go to new again. If you don't find a template in any of these categories that you like, and you kind of want to search for more, then you can say, maybe I'm looking for a magazine template, but I don't see one in here that I like. If I hit go, what that will do is take me out to the web so that I can do a search for other templates that may not be included in that dialog box. Now, that also means it may not be free. For example, when I hover over this one, it says premium. That means that this is a paid template. So we give you some for free, but if you really want to find other ones, there are other ones that are out there, but you may have to pay for them. There's still some free ones out there. There's a free one. There's a free one. There's a free one. There's a free one. Lots of free ones, but some of these are not free. So just keep that in mind. So if you don't see what you're looking for in the actual dialog box, do a search and you might find another one that you like that still may be free, that just wasn't in the featured ones that are in the application. All right, so now that we've found our document, we're going to close this and I'm going to change some things about it. Like, I don't like these little squiggly lines. They look like they would be maybe for a Mexican restaurant or something. You know, that looks like that style of line. I'm going to go ahead and close that, or delete it, I should say, not close it. So I'm just clicking on those and deleting them. I don't like those in this particular document for what this is for. I'm also going to go ahead and change the title. I'm going to change the title to Space, because that's what this is about. And I also don't like this yellow color. I'm going to switch it to a different color, make sure I'm on the foreground color in InDesign. I've got some color themes here that I've used in the past, and I can go ahead and maybe dull it down a little bit, or maybe brighten it up with a different color. And again, I'm just pointing out that all of this can be changed. You don't have to live with any of it. You don't want something, delete it. You want to change it, change it. Umash Dinda, welcome. You want to change what any of the text says, change what it says. You want to change the font, change the font. You can change anything about this as much as you want. So now it's giving me a big frame as to maybe you would put an image there. So if I do want to put an image there, I've got the frame already ready. If I don't, I can delete it. I can just put text there or smaller images there or whatever I want. But in this case, I do want an image there, but I don't have the image I want. I want an image of space, outer space. I've not been to outer space, so I've not taken any images. I want to see what's available on Adobe stock. So right here in your CC Libraries panel, which you have a Libraries panel in all of your desktop applications from Adobe, the search defaults to Adobe stock. So if I type anything in here, it's going to search Adobe stock for it. So if I type in outer space, it will start to find images of outer space. Pretty cool. And I can dial down and just keep going and keep searching and keep looking and keep looking. But you're going to reach a point, if I scroll all the way down and I don't see what I'm looking for, you're going to reach a point where it says see more results on the web. And while I get most of my content, usually what I'm looking for shows up. If I give it the right keywords, it shows up right here in the search the way I want. But there are times where I'm looking for something and I want to really narrow it down to exactly what I'm looking for. And that's not as easy to do here in the panel. The panel's great. I use it every time, every day, but there are certain things that I can't do in the panel. So let me point out one more thing you can do. Normally the results is twirled up. If you twirl this down, you can also specify what you're looking for. So outer space photos, outer space illustrations, outer space vectors. So if I turn off photos, then it's going to just show me vectors, things that people have drawn or traced that relate to outer space, which is cool because, again, that helps me narrow down what I'd be looking for. But let's go out to the web and do the same search. I'm going to give you an example of how you can get just what you're looking for if you're not finding it in the panel. So I'm going to switch over to my browser. I've already gone to stock.adobe.com as the URL. That's what we're looking for here. And once I'm in that URL, you'll notice that I got a search bar. So I can, again, type in outer space. And once I type in outer space and hit enter, it will start giving me results. And I'm getting the same results that I was getting before. But I want to do more. You notice that there is a view filters button. This is what's not necessarily in the panel, at least not all of it. If I view filters, what I can start to do is really narrow the content results down to what exactly I'm looking for. I'm looking for photos only. Okay, we could do that in a panel. I'm hiding editorial content because I don't want to license editorial content. I just want to use regular royalty-free content. I'm looking for a horizontal image. My frame is horizontal. Don't waste time showing me vertical images. Oh, sorry. Show me just horizontal images. Now, there's a very cool depth of field option as well, and I'll show you how that works on a different search. And I've also got vivid color, and I've got whether or not it includes people or not. So I could say, for example, I'm just looking for space, don't include any astronauts. And color, this is very cool. If I'm trying to match the color of what I'm designing, meaning show me images that are closer to the design colors that I'm using, that will give me even closer results. So I can twirl this up or down. I'm going to twirl it down, and I'm going to just simply pick something in the blues. You can be very specific. You can type in the exact hex code that you're looking for, but that will narrow it down, in my case, to images that have blue in them. And boom, there it is. There's the image I'm looking for. That's the one I want. I want that warped look that is very cool. All right, so now where am I going to save this to? I'm going to save this to my Adobe Live 2018 library. And I've just told it to save a preview, meaning I haven't licensed it yet because I haven't seen, I'm looking at a small thumbnail of this image. I want to find something I want to see what it looks like in my document. And I've also got the ability, if I kind of like this one, I can find similar. I can say, show me images that are similar to that one. And yeah, maybe I want this galaxy image too, so I'll go ahead and save the preview for that. I don't know if I want it yet, but at least I can save the preview and try them out. Previews are free to save. You can save those as much as you want. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and pop over to InDesign. And if I get out of my search, because remember I was still searching, and I go to my Adobe Live 2018 library, there are the two, I thought I clicked on 3, but there are at least the 2 preview images that I asked for. So now, for example, if I want to try that one with the warp in it and drag it over, I can drag it over and click right into my frame. course, it's got the Adobe watermark on it because I haven't licensed it yet, but it's also coming in at 100% size. So I'm going to go ahead and scale it down to fill the content or fill the frame proportionally. So in other words, fill the frame with the content, but don't stretch the content, don't leave any white space left over. I can also see that this image is much taller than my frame, so I can reposition it to maybe even get a better feel for that warp. Now, if that's an image that I like, I can save this as a preview, show my client, let them look at it, do anything I want. But if I'm ready to actually use this content, then I need to go ahead and license it. So the license process can be done right here in InDesign on the canvas. If you were in Photoshop, you can do it from the Layers panel. You can do it in Illustrator, I believe, from the Layers panel as well. So you can license the content either on the canvas or in the Layers panel where the content actually exists. So if I click the little shopping cart, it'll bring up my license count. I have 332 licenses available. It's going to take one of those to buy this image. And as soon as it licenses that image and downloads the high-res version, which is doing over here in the library, I can see, it will update and then hopefully remove the watermark once it downloads the high-res. Now, I said Layers panel in Photoshop. Yes, you can do it from the Layers panel, but you can also do it, of course, in Photoshop and Illustrator from the Libraries panel. That's what I was really trying to say. And as you can see, it did that. It updated it. Now this is the high-res version. No watermark, no file numbers. I can use this as much as I want, as many times as I want, wherever I want. All right, so that was using Adobe stock in an InDesign document, and the InDesign document itself was Adobe stock. It was a stock content. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to show you that next, Lee. Lee's asking a very important question. What if I were looking for a stock image and it was a sheet of stock images? Sometimes stock images that the stock contributor actually is giving you more value. They're giving you a bunch of icons or a bunch of images on one thing, one document. And it's like, well, how do I separate or use that? How do I do that? Usually that happens with vectors, not so much with photographs. So for example, let me go ahead and do another search for outer space. And let's see if we can find one that's space related. If not, we'll look for something else. I'm going to turn off photos. And nope, that's pretty much it for vectors. All right, let me look for something else. Let me look for just space. Let me not say outer space and see what happens. All right, yeah. So like, for example, this one is a bunch of different things. It's a bunch of spaceships, a bunch of line art, a bunch of things. And if I were to go ahead and license that one, so that's a sheet of images, and I click OK and go ahead and license it, it will add it to my library. But if I drag that over into InDesign, it's going to bring over all of those. I don't want all of them. I just want one of those or two of those. I don't need all of them. So let's go ahead and double click and open that up in Illustrator. And here it all comes. And so that all comes in, they even included little graph paper or lines. That's I've never seen anyone do that before. All right, so I see a couple of things here. Let's see, Adobe stock can be expensive beyond the 10 free images. You know, that's a double-edged sword. I hear people that are content consumers saying, Adobe stock can get expensive if I have to buy my images one by one. Then I hear contributors say, I wish you paid more for the images. It's a balance. Contributors are contributing their time and their art, and they want to get paid for it. Therefore, the price of it has to be enough for people to get paid. Think about it if you were on the other side of it. If you were drawing these, would you want the price to be really dirt cheap and you not make anything? So there it is. All right, so anyway, back to the original. How do I use these now if they're like a bunch on a sheet? Well, it depends on the stock. So I've never seen this image before. I don't know what's going on here. So there's either one of two things I may have to do. I'm going to go ahead and select, let's say I select the spaceship. Okay, in this case, the spaceship and all of these are separate. What I was about to say is sometimes the person uploading the vectors will upload the whole thing grouped. So if you go to click on one thing and go to move it, but everything gets selected, then what you'd have to do is simply ungroup it first. then you will be able to pick apart the individual items. Now, let's say that's the spaceship I like, and I even want to maybe turn it a little bit and do some other things to it. Well, now that I've got that, I can drag just that one into my library. So now I've got just that spaceship by itself. If I want this very interesting moon shape, I can go ahead and drag that into the library separately. So in other words, these are individually selectable and changeable items. If I don't like the blue on this one, then I can drill down into what makes that blue and then perhaps pick a different color. Let's go to my fill and let's mix a different color. Let's make it red or redder. There we go. So I got it nice and red. And now I've made a red version of the ship. And again, I can drag that one into the library. So now I've got all of these separate to use. And of course, you might want to spend some time naming them in the library so you know which one's which. And then, of course, I still have the original that has all of the different pieces on them in their original colors and sizes and locations. So that's how you would separate a bunch that were on a sheet. To use a specific one. So for example, if I go back now and I want to use the red spaceship, I can just drag the red spaceship over and scale it exactly where I need it to go. And there it is. So now I've got my space document ready to go. All right, with that said, we are already out of time. So we want to keep these short, keep them down to at least 20, no more than 20 minutes. And I've already hit the 20-minute mark on this. But I do want to point out, let me go back to the website before we wrap up, that you have not only images, you've got videos, you've got templates, which we've seen, you've got 3D models for Adobe Dimension, you've got the premium collection, which are images that are going to cost more, but that you won't find them in use as many places. So that's, one of the premium content. And of course, editorial. So if you're looking for pictures of celebrities and you're doing a news story, we've got editorial content as well. And we're going to even start, I believe we already started selling type beyond what's available in Adobe Typekit. So just like premium photos or premium vectors, premium fonts as well. So lots of different choices for the things you might be looking for. And that's how you can take advantage of stock content in your design workflow. So with that said, I want to say thanks for watching, everyone, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye, everybody.